Imagine someone who's taking exactly one guitar lesson, and the next day they confidently tell everyone they're going to be a rock star. And that sounds ridiculous, right? Now, imagine someone who's been playing guitar, let's say for 20 years, and go ask them how good they are. They probably shrug and they probably say, I'm still learning. Isn't that kind of funny? You see, the person who knows the least often sounds the most confident, while the person who knows the most is usually the most humble. Psychologists have studied this strange phenomenon for decades. They even gave it a name. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's the tendency for people with limited knowledge or experience to overestimate their abilities, while those with genuine expertise often underestimate how much they actually know. And this pattern appears everywhere in the markets. And it explains why beginners often feel unstoppable after a few winning trades. And why experienced traders become more cautious. And why confidence alone is one of the most dangerous indicators of all. You see, think back to the first time you discovered trading. Everything seemed simple, right? Maybe you watched a few YouTube videos, you drew a couple of lines, you found the support and the resistance, and you wait for the perfect setup. And then you make money. It all looked incredibly logical, and you probably thought, how come not everybody's doing this? Like, why isn't everybody doing this? Like, everybody should be doing this, trading. And at what stage you didn't know what you didn't know? And that's exactly what makes the beginning so deceptive. You see, our brains naturally try to simplify complicated things, and when we're introduced to something new, we quickly build a mental model, even if it's incomplete. And that model gives us the confidence to try things, because confidence doesn't require accuracy, it only requires familiarity. And the more comfortable something feels, the more certain we become. Unfortunately, the financial markets aren't anything but simple. They're influenced by economics, psychology, news, algorithms, liquidity, fear, and greed, and millions of human decisions happening at the same time. And there's no single strategy that can fully explain that level of complexity. Yet, there's so many beginners, they often believe that they already found the answer. Yeah, so imagine a brand new trader. They place their first few trades, three winners in a row, maybe five, and let's be generous and give them 10 winners in a row, right? And suddenly, everything changes. They start saying, oh, I've got this thing figured out. I'm gonna get rich. My strategy is so amazing. You know what? Maybe I should increase my size on my next trade and so I can retire sooner. You see what's happening here? The confidence was not built on years of experience. It was built on a tiny sample of outcomes. And psychologists calls this drawing broad conclusions from limited evidence. Like, trading is so full of these traps, and if new traders don't recognize these things, they will end their career sooner than they can realize. And you know what? Something happens, right? Like, losses arrive, unexpected volatility, there's false breakouts, and perfect setups that fail, and strategies, they stop working. Suddenly, certainty begins disappearing. Not because the trader become worse, but because they finally began seeing how much that they did not understand. And ironically, that's progress. The more you learn, the more complexity becomes visible. You, you see, many traders eventually reach a frustrating stage. They know more than beginners, right? But they don't yet feel like experts, and nothing seems easy anymore. And because every chart has multiple possibilities, and every setup contains uncertainty, the confidence stops, and some people quit here, and they mistake humility for failure. But in reality, they're just entering one of the most important stages of trading growth, because genuine learning often feels like less confidence before it becomes more confident. Listen, have you ever noticed something interesting? That the most experienced traders rarely make bold predictions. Instead, they use words like probably, possibly, if, or, there's a good chance that this can happen. And beginners often speak in absolutes. Look at the price action. It's definitely going up. This setup never fails. I'm a full port this thing. Look, experts understand it's something beginners don't. The market does not reward certainty. They reward adaptability. You see, the goal is not predicting every move. It's preparing for multiple possibilities. You know what it is? You know what's a problem? In today's trading world, creates another problem, right? The confidence, it gets attention, especially when you post it. Certainty gets click, and people naturally gravitate toward those who sound convinced. Like 100% guaranteed and quote unquote never lose again. This is the secret strategy. Yeah, that's all marketing, but honestly, like humility is not flashy and probability is not exciting. But reality usually lives somewhere between certainty and doubt. And the loudest voice isn't always the wisest one. Look, one of the biggest transformations in trading has nothing to do with strategies. It happens internally. Beginners often identify as someone trying to beat the market, and experienced traders begin identifying as someone trying to manage uncertainty. And those are completely different mindsets. One seeks clarity and the other accepts uncertainty. One fights the market and the other works with it. Listen, here's something worth remembering. Feeling certain does not increase the probability of being correct. Confidence is just a feeling, and probability is straight up math. And the market does not reward emotions, it responds to order flow, liquidity, risk, human behavior, trading back and forth with their own opinions. So you see, whether you feel 10% confident or 100,000 confident about something, the market does not care. And you know what? That's actually both humbling and incredibly freeing. You see, the best traders out there, they all seem to share this one characteristic, and that's curiosity. Instead of asking, how can I prove that I am right? They ask, what am I missing? And that single question, it changes everything because curiosity opens the door to learning and certainty closes it. And once you believe that you master the market, you stop paying attention. And the market has a very funny way and expensive, let me tell you, of teaching lessons to people who stop learning. So look, before entering your next position, take a pause. Ask yourself this one question. Am I making this trade because I understand the risk or because I feel certain about this outcome? You see, those aren't the same thing. Understanding risk creates discipline, and certainty often creates overconfidence. The distinction may be small, but over hundreds of trades, it actually changes everything. And this may actually surprise you, but the most confident traders, they're actually not that confident that every trade will work in their favor. They're confident that they'll be okay. They're confident that they're going to follow the rules. And you know what about the outcomes? If it doesn't turn out the way that they wanted, and that's okay. And you know what? That's real confidence. Not confidence in prediction, confidence in their process, in their risk management, confidence in emotional discipline. Like, that's the kind of confidence that cannot be shaken by one losing trade because it was never built on individual outcomes. All right, so let's wrap this up. The Dunning-Kruger effect is not just about intelligence, it's about awareness. The less we know, the easier it is to mistake confidence for competence. The more we learn, the more we realize how much remains unknown. You know, at first, that realization feels uncomfortable, right? But eventually, it becomes one of the greatest advantages a trader can develop because humility creates curiosity. Curiosity creates learning, and learning creates adaptation. And adaptation is what keep professional traders alive in uncertain markets. Look, the goal was never to become the smartest trader. The goal was never to predict every move. The goal is to remain teachable, to remain disciplined, to remain curious. Because markets evolve, conditions change, and strategies come and go. But a trader who never stops learning and never stops improving. So the next time you feel completely certain, like pause, right? Ask yourself, do I truly understand this market or have I simply become comfortable with my current beliefs? And sometimes the most powerful words a trader can say aren't, I know, I still have something to learn. And perhaps that's the moment you begin thinking like a professional trader. All right, master your mind, master your market. This is NQ State of Mind. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please like, comment, share, and I promise you that I will respond to you. I hope you have a good trading day today. We'll see you later next time.